Welcome back. And just before we cross over to the Nigerian equities market, East Africa's largest economy, Kenya, has launched its first ever green bonds regulatory framework. According to the chief executive of the Capital Markets Authority of Kenya, Paul Multara, the launch will help institutional investors diversify their portfolios and hedge against the effects of climate change. The development of the green bonds framework deepens Kenya's capital market product offerings and infuses sustainability into finance and strategies. The authority is also launching its policy guidance note for both listed and unlisted green bonds that will inform the approval process. And Egypt has issued $4 billion in foreign currency bonds, and the sale was oversubscribed fivefold, attracting $21.5 billion in bids. The issue includes $750 million in 5-year bonds, $1.75 billion in 10-year bonds, and $1.5 billion in 30-year bonds, and the proceeds will be used to finance the state budget. And a rescue package for Eskom, South Africa's most important state firm, is expected to dominate Finance Minister Tito Mbowene's budget speech later today, with a struggling power utility at risk of collapse without a large bailout. Eskom supplies 90% of South Africa's electricity, but is drowning in 420 billion rand of debt after a decade of financial decline marred by corruption, scandals, and mismanagement. It carried out some of the worst power cuts in several years last week and is cited by rating agencies as the biggest risk to the economy, as it no longer generates enough profit to meet its over 25 billion rand a year of finance costs. And earnings have continued to drive the Nigerian equities market. At midday, the index was up 0.41%. Well, let's get an update from Tempo. Hello, Tempo. Well, give us an update on stock movements today. What earnings are driving the markets today?
Well, I think Zenith Bank is still the major driver in the system, but it is serving as, at this point, as a major corollary for a lot of other earnings that will be coming into the system. We see a lot of investors buying into the banking names more, and of course the consumer goods segment of the market, of course conglomerates as well that you find under that classification in the market. At this time, we have the consumer goods segment of the market as the topmost gainer in terms of indices. It's up some 1.1%, given the fact that we have currently a couple of names in that segment really gaining. If you look at the likes of Nigerian breweries is up some 6.67% now, and you have flour mills also rising. Honeywell Flour is also doing well. Dangote Sugar is another name that a lot of companies are actually buying. So that has been pushing up the indices of the consumer goods segment of the market. Now over to the banking segment of the market, which is currently up some 0.4 to 5% in the market. It was the highest yesterday due to the gains we saw in the earnings of Zenith Bank PLC. But a lot of investors are still taking position in it. However, we see a bit of profit taking in it because this is a stock that was trading around 22 naira, 23 naira at a point in time. Now that the good earnings has come into the market and we've seen a total of dividend of 2 naira 80 kobo that will be paid to shareholders, it's time for some investors who had keyed in at that point when we had it at the support level price. Now it's time for them to possibly take profits because again they've seen so much of a rise in terms of capital appreciation on that particular name. So that's the kind of movement we're seeing in the market. A lot of investors and traders have continued to react positively to that earnings. But the latest development we have so far is a bit of a two-pronged approach. We have Sterling Bank that was here in the stock market yesterday, currently announcing the credit line facility of $65 million that it just secured from Arab Bank of Development in Africa, and that we understand that that loan was given to them in two tranches or so. Yes, on Monday, precisely in Cairo, Egypt. So that is something that some investors here are also reacting to. At the moment, Sterling Bank is the most actively traded stock in the market, with some 103 million units of its shares traded so far, and we've seen it trading around 2 naira 40 kobo now. That's some 0.10% rise in the share price of that company.
Well, Temple, thank you for those updates. We'll wait till 2:30 to see what happens eventually. And in Ghana, an entrepreneur, Jeffrey Yobo, is making a coffee table out of recycled tires at his workshop in Accra. He uses recycled tires, glass, fabric, and various colored ropes to bring out his designs. Let's watch this.
A part-time student at the University of Ghana, where he is taking a course in economics and information studies, Yeboah started his furniture shop 5 years ago, having seen an opportunity to run his own business. He taught himself how to make side tables, coffee tables, and armchairs.
I love my job. I love what I do. It's the best thing I ever did for myself. If not for anything at all, I feel I'm part of a problem-solving community. I mean, I'm taking car tires off the streets. I'm taking car tires from gutters. I'm stopping car tires from being bent. I'm stopping car tires from,
He collects used tires from dump sites and also sources some from second-hand dealers in the city. The entrepreneur says he wants to promote recycling and educate people about waste management. Yeboah's company, Ripple's Interior, employs 2 workers. He also trains aspiring furniture entrepreneurs. Clients can order custom-made designs or select designs from his furniture catalog. The furniture pieces range from $30 to $250 depending on the size and design.
The only exciting part of it is that it's made in Ghana, and I want to buy it to, promote our products.
The vision for this business is big, is wide. So I look at the broader picture, not what I'm facing now. Sometimes I wake up with no money at all in my pocket. I've used every money to buy ropes, and since I'm training people, there are some material that will do that. I will never sell them because I was just training people with it and all that. So at the end of the day, I will not get anything, but nothing stops me.
Yeboah wants to grow his business further and is working on plans to get more funding as he continues to provide practical furniture while helping to clean up the environment.
And finally, Uganda has accused the country's biggest telecoms operator, MTN Uganda, of under-declaring its sales and causing public revenue losses. Uganda deported MTN Uganda's chief executive, Win Vermpote, last week, the 4th MTN official to be expelled from the East African country in less than a month on accusations of compromising national security. The company is a unit of South African telecoms giant MTN Group, which has also had problems in Nigeria, where the central bank last year accused it of repatriating $8 billion without the correct paperwork. MTN Uganda has over 10 million subscribers and competes chiefly with the local unit of India's Bharti Airtel. Relations between the government and the company have been tested over the past year by a series of setbacks, including a security raid on the company's data center, delayed renewal of its operating license, and the expulsions of its executives. And that's a wrap on the show. Thank you very much for watching. I'm Chimezie Obi Iwabo.